It's amazing that despite the numbers, family caregivers themselves feel very, very isolated. And so they think that there isn't anybody else thinking and feeling what they're thinking and feeling. And some of what we think and feel are dark emotions. So people don't necessarily want to admit them, that they've thought, oh my God, I wish this was all over. Or golly, I could kill him today. And when they learn that other people are thinking and feeling those same kinds of things, and that is perfectly normal, it does give you some level of comfort. There's this sense that other people are out there just like me.
We spent a lot of our time in different hospitals with him. He was admitted into a rehab one time for, I think, 6 months straight. He had to live there. Things like that were really difficult. My mom tried to care for him while she still worked full-time. When he first got sick, I was in high school, so she had a high school student that, was trying to have a regular life, so she had to deal with me as well as take care of him. And I know there'd be different days she'd pick me up from school and we'd go right to his rehab to visit Dad and bring him home when he had his weekend passes and things. And as I got older, I was able to help out more. He ended up on kidney dialysis, so we all adjusted our schedules. We would take him at 5 o'clock in the morning and leave work and pick him back up at 9 o'clock in the morning. And just kind of life needed to be adjusted around all of his needs. I mean, to go in every aspect of it, I'd have you sitting here for quite a while. But it definitely was a big challenge, and everything we did just revolved around what he could do. Things that we would try to plan. We'd have to make sure that he ended up in a wheelchair for the last several years, and we'd have to make sure it was wheelchair accessible. He would tire so easily and be in pain so often that we would only be out minimal amount of times for a lot of functions, and that also isolates you a lot. Especially I think for my mom, it isolated her a lot from friends and family. And when you have a sick person in your family, you just can't do the normal social things that you're used to or that people want you to do. So it's a lot of change.
She couldn't take care of herself. So that's when I started going up every day and doing what has to be done, fixing her breakfast or fixing her dinner, taking dinner up and trying to clean the house for her, just whatever she needed, it's what I did. Sometimes I even tried to, give her sponge baths and whatever it took. So, that was an everyday occurrence. It was very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard to put her in nursing home because I always felt that it was my responsibility to take care of her. She took care of me for a lot of years, and I go out as much as I can. I don't go out as often as I should. I at least try to go out once a week. Sometimes I'll make it two. If I go out at lunchtime or something like that. And then I'll admit there's been a couple of weeks at a time when I haven't been out. But yes, going back to what I said about not enough care, not enough staff for the amount of patients. Most of the people with long-term Alzheimer's, once they get into the third stage, they can't feed themselves, and they basically can't do anything for themselves. So they require a lot of care. And if you feed them, they'll eat. you don't feed them, the food will just sit there in front of them. And I think that's one of the things that bothers me the most, is that there's just not enough staff to help to care for the patients the way they should be cared for. I think that, you know, sometimes I think they're just put in there and forgotten about, which some of them are. You know, some of them are, you know, I've seen some people are put in there just so that they're not a burden to the family. There's a couple of ladies out there, I've never seen them have visitors. You know, and I've been going out there now for, what, 3 or 4 years. Never seen them have a visitor. And that's that. But yes, I go out, and when I go out, I try to go out at lunchtime or dinner time so I can feed her, so I know that, you know, I know I'm helping her, and when I do that, I'm also helping the nursing home, helping the staff in the nursing home.
So, I know I think it was only after my dad died did my mom and I realize how many things we weren't a part of. And after he was gone, you know, then we had an opportunity to kind of spend more of the normal time together, or family time together. But it definitely it dictates what you do in your life. And during that time, I also I had a support group that I ran at work, and I know a lot of different families that I have spoken to. The isolation is one of the big things that, you know, adds to caregiver burnout, as a lot of people run across. And, you know, I used to preach to people all the time in group that you have to reach out to people for help before you reach the burnout stage, and yet it's so hard to do. And I know my mom and I didn't do very well doing that either. When you're in the middle of it, you just want to take care of it yourself. But